Hi everybody, how's it going? Mark here. Hello, and this is going to be a quick review video because I've only got 3 comics here to review and it's hot. I don't do heat well. I prefer winter. My thought is in winter, if you're cold, you can put clothes on. In the summer, if you're hot, there's only so many clothes you can take off before you get arrested. So yeah, it's about 28 degrees here at the moment, which is just ridiculous for May, if you ask me. But somebody needs to turn down the thermostat, I think. Yes, anyway, reviews. Yes. One thing that isn't a comic, but might interest you, that I have picked up, is it's a biography on Patrick Troughton. And it's by his son, Michael Troughton. Now, I'm sure everybody recognises Patrick Troughton as the second Doctor from the Doctor Who series 1969, no, 1967 to 1969. Yes, I think that's when he was Doctor Who. And unfortunately, a lot of Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who episodes are lost because they never used to keep the actual filmings of the old BBC or old TV programs because they never thought that anybody would be interested in it. So they just either sent them off to other countries like Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, and America, and that, and the originals in the BBC were wiped. So sadly, a lot of Patrick Troughton's Doctor Who episodes are missing. This is a biography, as I said, from Michael Troughton, who is Patrick Troughton's son. And some of you might not know who Michael Troughton is. I should show you a picture of him in here. There you go. That is Michael Troughton. You have a spitting image of his father. And probably his most well-known character was, I have to look at the name, it was Sir Piers Fletcher Dervish in the TV comedy series The New Statesman, which was in the UK, it was on ITV at the time, and it also had Rick Mail in it as the New Statesman, who was also well known for being in The Young Ones and Bottom and various other TV comedy programs like that. Now, this also has a foreword by Fraser Hines and afterwards by Colin Baker, who, as we all know, was the 6th Doctor, the one with the blonde curly hair and the gaudy jacket and taste of clothing. Yeah, him. So yeah, it's published by Hearst Publishing, which is actually a local publishing company here. I actually picked this up at the village shop that I get my Marvel figurines from. And they knew I was a Doctor Who fan because I get my Doctor Who magazine from there as well. And they told me this was coming out, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I thought that any Doctor Who fans out there might be interested in wanting to pick this up. As I said, it's by Hearst Publishing, and at the moment it's £9.99 and it's paperback. This is the first print, so it's only just come out about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. So yeah, for all Doctor Who fans out there, this looks like it's pretty good. Also has some candid pictures from Michael Troughton's own private photo collection, family photo collection. Also some pictures. There you go. Oh, this is a good one. This is when Patrick Troughton was filming Treasure Island. Yeah. That's from 1949. Very good. I mean, it's all the pictures are black and white. See if I can find any more pictures. Some pictures of Patrick Troughton here. I don't know if you'll be able to see these, as Sir William Fitzwater in The Adventures of Robin Hood. I don't know if you'll be able to see him There you go. There. So yeah, I just thought I'd show you that one because that's probably interests any Doctor Who fans out there. And now on with the comics. And I got 3 comics here, and I really wasn't that impressed with them. And I'll do the 2 that I wasn't impressed with the most. First up, we have Amazing Spider-Man, Ends of the Earth, one-shot special #1. Now this, I can't remember exactly which issues this fits in nicely to, but this is a one-shot that ties in with Ends of the Earth. I will give Marvel credit that they aren't putting loads and loads of tie-ins with this year's event, Spidey event, and this seems to be the only one. And I think Avenging Spider-Man 8, I think it is, or 9, also ties in with Ends of the Earth, but that's like a prequel sort of story. Not really that good, to tell you the truth. It doesn't seem to add anything to the actual story that's in the Amazing Spider-Man comics. It's got Union Jack in it and the Japanese heroes Big Hero 6, which I'll admit I think I've only just vaguely remember hearing about in other comic books from Marvel. And it just follows. It follows the, if you remember, what was it? Again, I can't remember which Amazing Spider-Man issue it was, but the issue where Spider-Man rallies the troops and gets all the heroes around the world that are willing to help him destroy Doc Ock's missile silos and that. This is their story, really. You have in it, you have Kangaroo from Australia, you've got Union Jack, as I said, from Britain, you've got Sabra from Israel, you've got Big Hero 6 from Japan, and you've got the Titanium Man from Russia. And it mainly follows Union Jack and Big Hero 6 in this story. You see, I mean, you've got characters like Kangaroo, Titanium Man, and Sabra, who I feel would just put into the story for cannon fodder. You don't really get to know the characters. You don't really get to know of their abilities. Really, there's a little bit of a info on the actual characters at the beginning of the comic, which gives you a little bit of insight on what the characters can do, the other superheroes around the world can do, but not much else. You don't really get a chance to get to know the characters and actually feel anything for the characters. So when you have somebody like the Kangaroo getting killed, it doesn't really bother you. In fact, it feels like a bit of a waste of a character to just have him going into this silo depot in Australia and getting killed. It does seem to be a waste of characters, really. And Union Jack, obviously Union Jack is one of the characters that they want to keep around because he doesn't die. And he manages to defeat the Octobots and also stop the rocket from no, he finds a microchip. That's it. To tell you the truth, as far as the Big Hero 6 story went along, I didn't read all the way through it. I actually just skimmed through it because the first part of the story with Union Jack, and also showing the Kangaroo and Titanium Man and is it Sabra, I said, isn't it? Sabra, yeah. Seeing them get defeated and killed or possibly killed just didn't really make any interest for me whatsoever with this comic. It is a bit of a no-show. It doesn't really give you any more details on what is actually happening with Spider-Man that much. Not anything that you haven't actually seen in the Amazing Spider-Man comics that all tie in with the Ends of the Earth. So yeah, it's really, if it wasn't for the fact I got this fairly cheap, I wouldn't have picked it up. Probably. It's a $3.99 comic. It's $3, isn't it? Yeah, well, so it's really bad. $3.99 comic, and quite frankly, they probably should have put it down to $2.99 to make it easier for people to pick up for those who want to get it. But at the end, it's not really much to do with, well, it is to do with the story, but it doesn't really add anything to the Ends of the Earth story arc that's happening in Amazing Spider-Man. So pick it up if you want to, but it's not really worth it. Right? Next up, we have Avengers vs. X-Men 4. And you probably remember me saying when Avengers vs. X-Men first come out that I've really enjoyed Avengers vs. X-Men, and I really hope that because it's a 12-issue miniseries, I really hope that it wasn't going to do what every other crossover miniseries event that Marvel puts out and be really good in the first issue, and then subsequent issues after that get slowly more and more downhill in their storytelling and their hold on my interest, really. And unfortunately, Avengers vs. X-Men issue 4 doesn't really do anything for me. It's, from what I can tell, it's padding. They could have probably done this whole series probably in about 6 issues. It follows exactly on with what happened in the previous issue. Obviously, you know, Wolverine gets kicked out of the plane by Captain America into the Antarctic tundra. There's a bit in it that I think is quite pointless, actually. Wolverine is walking around with, I take it, a polar bear that he has slaughtered himself just to keep himself warm. Now, I can understand why Wolverine would want to keep himself warm in the Antarctic, and I can understand, you know, him, you know, trying to do his damnedest to actually stay warm. But is it really necessary for Wolverine, especially Wolverine now, since Wolverine's took over the what's it called, the Jean Grey School for Exceptional Children, whatever it's called, since he took that over, his violence seems to have toned down a fair bit in the Wolverine in the X-Men comic. You know, I mean, this seems in character with Wolverine possibly when he first started out in comic books, but it doesn't seem to be that much in character with Wolverine in the comic books now. You know, he seems to be a lot more, even though he still doesn't take no, crap from people. He seems to be a bit more placid, Wolverine now. Oh, maybe I'm wrong, you know. So that just seems a bit out of sorts for me with that. But yeah, he ends up meeting Hope, who tries to stop him from killing her and that, and tries to explain to him why, even though they've agreed to, if anything like that happens, Wolverine would kill her. Hope tries to explain that he doesn't need to kill her, and she tries to tell him why. You have the Avengers that are in space that are basically getting their ass kicked by the Phoenix Force. And you have Emma Frost taking over Toad to go into, is it Cerebra? Yeah, Cerebra. Go into Cerebra to see if she can find out where Hope is. And she goes all around the world trying to figure out where Hope is to see if she can get her mutant code, genetic code, and can pinpoint where she is. And eventually she does find her. And the rest of the story is just, I'm being dive bombed by a bumblebee in it. The rest of the story is just Avengers fighting X-Men. Really, I think this is what this comic is going to be until probably around about issue 8 and 9, I would imagine. And it'll just be the Avengers and the X-Men bickering about what they should be doing with Hope, rather than actually looking at the proper problem, which is the Phoenix Force is coming to destroy the world, or possibly destroy the world. I won't go into any details about what happens in the end, because I don't want to ruin it for anybody who is actually reading this. But as a story, and as a part of something as big as something like the Avengers versus X-Men, it really didn't leave me with much wanting to pick up issue 5. I am a fanboy. I don't like having series that I have got issues missing. If I start a mini-series, if it's bad, I do try to like pick up the rest of the issues, even though, you know, it is bad, because I don't like holes in my comic collection. You know, I'm possibly like most fanboys out there who don't like having holes or missing issues in their collection. So I probably will pick up the rest of the Avengers versus X-Men. But as far as issue 4 goes, nah, it's filler, really. But it's not all doom and gloom, because there was one good comic that I picked up from last Wednesday, and that is Daredevil number 13. As the saying goes, unlucky for some, but not unlucky for Daredevil, because this is still a flipping good comic. It's a really good read. This is a continuation from the Omega effect, which came across in Avenging Spider-Man, Punisher, and Daredevil. This is Daredevil finally deciding that the only way he's going to be able to, the only way he's going to be able to get his own life back is by calling out all of the criminal organisations and terrorist gangs out there and saying, here I am, you want the Omega Drive, you come and get me and get it. And it's really good. You've got brilliant Daredevil action in here. Mark Waid has nailed Daredevil as far as I'm concerned. This is what Daredevil should be. He's still funny where he needs to be funny, but it is action all the way. You have, what is it, 3 or 4 criminal organisations and terrorist organisations vying for Daredevil's head and the Omega Drive, and you know there is a massive fight between everybody in this comic. Again, I don't want to ruin the ending for people, because there is a bit of a surprise at the end that even I didn't really see happening. And it's not the fact that the Avengers show up near the end of it. Okay, that wasn't a surprise. I figured out who the Avengers were in this comic as soon as they turned up in this comic. But yeah, I won't spoil the end for people who haven't read it yet. But if you have not picked up any issues of Mark Waid's Daredevil, seriously, see if you can pick up the back issues of this. If not, get the trades, because this is just absolutely blinding. Mark Waid, I loved him on the Flash. When he did the Flash, he was the one that created the Speed Force for the Flash genre. You know, and everything Mark Waid does at the moment is, well, especially with Daredevil, is brilliant. So there you go. That's my video and my reviews for comics that come out last Wednesday. I haven't got a clue when I'm going to do my next review video, but I'm sure I'll do it somewhere next week. Thank you everybody who has subscribed. I just cannot believe how many subscribers I have now. It just seems to have snowballed. If you haven't subscribed already and you enjoyed this, please subscribe, because I like people subscribing. It shows me you love me. If you have a comment, if you agree with what I've said, if you don't agree with what I said, if you want to know anything else about the comics I've put up here or anything at all, that's what the comment section down below is for. If you liked the video, thumbs up. If you didn't like the video, thumbs down. But don't just thumbs down and run away and hide. Say why you didn't like the video. Say why you didn't thumbs down. You never know. I might be able to persuade you that you did like it. You never know. Yeah, so thanks again for everybody who has subscribed recently. Thank you all for watching. I've also now gone past the 5,000 views marks on my video, which is, as far as I'm concerned, a pretty big milestone for me anyway. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Take care, and hope to see you again soon. Ta-ta for now.